The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode.
Summer, summer, summer of 86 at 40.
Welcome back to the Brandon Peters Show in the summer of 86 at 40. A look back at the films that populated theaters across the United States 40 years ago and the pop culture that surrounded them. Joining me, as always, from Puck News and The Outside Scoop, which this week is Let's Get Scoopy, Let's Get Nuts. Our Rocky Road ice cream is buy one, get one free. Scott Mendelson.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And
I have the hiccups. I apologize.
excellent. You normally get those during the box office portion. Anyway, okay.
This is true.
And from We Live Entertainment, out now with Aaron and Abe, and two black guys talk Godzilla. The tracking on his VHS copy of Howling 2 is all sorts of eaten up at the start of the end credits. Aaron Neuwirth.
That is a thing that we'll talk about later because I was amused. And hey, guess what? I brought a special guest with me for this week's episode, Yoshi.
Oh, jeez. You
He might help
bought
me
that
rate-
damn thing?
He might help me rate movies later.
All right.
Where did you get that thing?
You don't have a Yoshi?
I don't.
You just check your backyard and there's eggs every now and then. And if you hatch one instead of eating it,
Hmm.
So glad they got
Oh,
Donald
okay.
Glover for it. Made a difference.
That's my mistake. I've been eating them. They're delicious. And they're naturally low in cholesterol compared to normal eggs.
that's how it goes.
That's how it goes. All right. Well, this episode will cover the weekend that was July 11 through 13, 1986. Note at the top of the podcast here, we have cut the film Malcolm, which opened in one theater this weekend, but it goes wide November 5th. It is the Nadia Tass film written by David Parker, starring Colin Friels, John Hargreaves, Chris Haywood, and Heather Mitchell.
Ah, I was gonna
Remember
go right
that
into
one?
this episode.
Did they pull a Sing Sing? We're like, whoops, we forgot to release this?
No, it was in one theater, and then, yeah. Who knows?
Life is unfair.
They were getting that award season screening in early or something. Okay. As always, we will begin with the news.
News.
And they are off. Jackie Joyner in lane 1, Shubin Kova in lane 2, Sabine Pates in lane 3. We have the world and American record holders in this event for the heptathlon, and Joyner is just pulling away, and she is at a good clip and looking fine. That clock shows 12:88. If that holds up, she has established an American record.
On July 7th, American athlete Jackie Joyner Kersey sets the world heptathlon record of 7,148 points in the inaugural Goodwill Games at Moscow. There we go.
Cool.
All right.
That same day, just the biggest feat, right? IBM PC DOS version 3.2 updated is released. Remember DOS?
Oh yeah. MS-DOS.
Yeah, I used to know how
Oh,
to
yes.
do a lot of shit on a computer with DOS.
Oh yeah. Opened up various games and whatnot.
And yeah, and like me and my one friend would play Duke Nukem 3D modem to modem by using DOS stuff to connect the phones and stuff.
I'm pretty sure Mario helped teach me typing by way of me routing through DOS first. so-
Yeah, so easy.
He also
to do.
taught me how to practice medicine. I'm in so much trouble.
Oh, very true. Also that day, it is reported that British Culture Club singer Boy George is being treated for heroin addiction. But
Alas.
he's like beta testing for the grunge phase of music in the next decades, apparently. But and last thing on that day, the Supreme Court strikes down the Graham-Rudman deficit reduction law. This was a law that apparently would have erased the United States deficit by 1991. That was the plan of this. The national deficit would have been erased by 91. And they're like, no, we ain't doing that. Kidding me?
Like, we don't want to do that. We GOP are never going to give up the White House. We don't care.
But how do it, like, I have a question for the room. Like, how am I ever to take the United States national deficit seriously? It's been there my whole life. Nothing has been catastrophic because of the fucking, like, it feels like a ghost.
I mean, when Clinton balanced the budget, things felt pretty good for a bit there.
Right.
We had movies like Independence Day showing us being like, hey, if instead of the economy, I'm going to fight fucking aliens. Like, that felt pretty good for a bit, instead of someone sitting on the butt and being like, I don't know, this Ed Harris is really serious about bombing us because of the treatment of veterans and whatnot. I mean,
No.
you know.
I'm the same. I was like,
We had Harrison Ford punching out Russian guys. It was great.
You add to the deficit, you take away, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's always there. July 8th, the farthest thrown object, an aerobie flying ring, goes at 383 meters, which is 1,257 feet for us.
That's how you throw a fucking frisbee. Yeah.
That is.
Did it come back?
It's not a boomerang, Scott. We're not in your Australian stereotype over here. Jeez.
Right?
It's more of a Kung Lao situation. They cut off heads.
Yeah.
Did the head come back?
Nobody went out for a bloomin' onion after.
Foster's Australian for tourist.
Yeah. Same day, NASA establishes safety, reliability, maintain, and quality assurance.
Shouldn't they have that beforehand?
I think something happened in January that led them to do that. Or they were inspired by Space Camp. All right. July 9th.
That's the quote of the week. Jesus.
July 9th, Attorney General's Commission on Pornography links hardcore porn to sex crimes.
With happiness. Oh, wait, and sex crimes.
Sex crimes, yeah. So, yeah.
Why not both?
Yeah. So hide your Betamax, hide your VHS.
I'm sure that research went, you know what? I think this, and then I drew lines to it, and guess what? I found that was true. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I did no other research. I did nothing else. I just said this, and it turned out I was right.
Yep, that murder happened. That murder rape happened in an alley. 2 blocks from that alley was a video store, and that video store also had a pornography section. Therefore, I assume. July 9th, the New Zealand Parliament passes the Homosexual Law Reform Bill, legalizing consensual sex between men aged 16 and older.
That had a happier ending than I was expecting.
It did, didn't it? You were
Yeah.
like, oh, they're gonna get through. What zinger can I come up? Oh, no? Oh, okay.
It's got their Kiwis juice, that's for sure.
Kudos. July 11th, Ingrid Christiansen of Norway runs 10,000 meters in a world record time of 30:13:74. Congrats.
Lots of running.
It's fast. July 13th, Zola Budd and Annette Cowley are banned from the Commonwealth Games, a direct consequence of Britain's refusal to support economic sanctions against the apartheid government of South Africa. Take that.
I was hoping for a much funnier reason.
No. We have
as it stands, it's only mildly funny to Scott.
Right.
I mean, it's not quite getting caught streaking, but it'll do.
It's not an American Pie plot.
Right.
American Pie tackles apartheid. With Eugene Levy as Jim's dad. Apparently, South Africa.
Very naked mile. I have no idea what that means.
I think we shouldn't go to South Africa anymore.
This is the one where Sharp Tooth finally dies? Oh, wait, one franchise.
We should name our kid Jim after that SWAT commander.
Smash that subscribe button.
All right. Passing away this week, our deaths are Hyman G. Rickover, the father of modern nuclear navy. Karl Heinz Beckertz, West German Siemens manager. Lê Duan, a general secretary of Vietnam from 1960 to 86.
Good job.
Obviously 86. Joseph Coke Escovedo, the percussionist for Santana. And then birthdays this week. Ina Jawo, singer, actress, and composer for like Trolls and Nerve. Anna Kasparian, a political commentator known for the Young Turks. Golfer Kevin Chappell. Soccer player Renata Costa. Keely Williams from Aqua who plays Aqua in the Cheetah Girls. Will Brill, actor from the OA and Stereophonic. Rugby player J.P. Peterson. And actor Wyatt Russell.
I don't know why Russell and I are the same age.
You're older, Aaron. You're older.
Thanks, Brandon.
You're older. You got him beat. So, all right. Our first film was moved from last week to this week. So when it plays in 937 theaters in week 2, we are talking Under the Cherry Moon.
Oh, yeah.
MTV announces a special contest. The artist, Prince. The movie Under the Cherry Moon, and the movie premiere in your hometown. On July 1st, Prince, The Revolution, and the cast will arrive in your hometown for the worldwide premiere of his long-awaited new movie. You and your friends are the premiere audience, and after the movie, you're all Prince's special guests at the gala premiere party. The whole special event will be seen on MTV. Here's how to win. Sometime on Saturday, June 21st, we'll play the videos Kiss and Mountains back to back and give you a special toll-free number. If you're the 10,000th caller, you win. To anyone who ever said, someday my Prince will come, someday is now. Watch MTV on June 21st to win your hometown premiere movie date with Prince.
This one is directed by Prince with an uncredited Michael Ballas, who also shot the movie. He is also known for, he's been around. He did World on a Wire, which is something I have from Criterion, which is a really cool thing. He did music videos for Bruce Springsteen, which was I'm on Fire, did Papa Don't Preach and True Blue for Madonna. He was the cinematographer on Color of Money, Last Temptation of Christ, Goodfellas, Age of Innocence for Scorsese. He does Postcards from the Edge, Coppola's Dracula, Quiz Show, Outbreak, Sleepers, Air Force One, Gangs, New York, Depart. Just lots of cool stuff there. It's written by Becky Johnston, who wrote not much stuff, but this, Prince of Tides, 7 Years in Tibet, and House of Gucci. This movie stars Prince.
Giving Ang Lee a run for his money, and what the fuck?
Yeah. It stars Prince, Jerome Benton, Kristen Scott Thomas.
Of course.
Girl, I did not know. This. Stephen Burkhoff, Emmanuel Saleh, Alexandra Stewart, and Francesca Annis. Two con artist brothers attempt to swindle a soon-to-be wealthy heiress, but things get complicated when one falls in love with her. All right, so we're going to spin the dial, and it's going to land on Aaron for Under the Cherry Moon.
I'm glad this is the one I forgot, because it's a delight to remember it. Because this is my favorite one of the week, easily. By
default.
I'd never seen this one. I'd never seen this movie. I only just recently saw Purple Rain, which I quite enjoyed. And so the reception of this one, I'm like, is this like the bad one, or like what's going on here? What's the I don't know. I didn't know like the general consensus on this one. It seems like it wasn't really well liked, and it's only kind of gained a cult following over the years. And I'm having to join that cult following. I think this movie's solid. Like, you can look at all the things that make up what someone would consider like a bad movie as far as like some of the performances or like the story it's trying to tell or any number of things. But it's like this movie's fucking fun. Like I had such a blast watching this. It looks great for one thing. It's shot in black and white. It looks wonderful. Prince's charisma is like off the charts here. Like even more so than I think Purple Rain. He's like when he's performing, great. When he's in his like romance mode, it's not bad, but it's also like it's just kind of slow. You're just like, all right, you're watching him kind of seduce his way or make Here he's just like I like how much of like you know, here's what it is. It reminded me of like Eddie Murphy's Harlem Nights, where that's not necessarily a good movie, but I think like the style and the ambition going into it really make it more than just it makes it worthwhile at least. And I think
I
this one
can
has
go with you there. Yeah, that makes
I think it has a
sense.
similar draw in
I
that
like
way.
Harlem Nights better than this, but yeah.
I would say so, yeah, just because there's more accomplished talent involved in it. But I think it's the same kind of a vibe, and I had fun watching this. When I go into a movie like Under the Cherry Moon, it's like yeah, another Prince film. Like, okay, so I'm not gonna like look for this in the realm of like what kind of towering performances I'm gonna get. Um, but in terms of like meeting the film on its level, I think it accomplishes what it's going for, and I can like not even nitpick. I can pick apart like the things that are, not great about the movie, but as it stands, I just had fun. Like there's less music than I expected. I thought there'd be more musical numbers, which is like that's a shame, just given the period of Prince that we're in. It's like
Hmm.
seems like we could have done a lot more music numbers. But outside of that, I was watching this and just like people don't like this movie. Like, all right. I mean, I had a good time. I enjoyed this one quite a bit.
Scott?
Agreed. I had not seen this one, and frankly, I don't know if I would have. Granted, I would have been 6 years old, but humor me for a second. I don't know if I would have, to what extent I would have appreciated what it was doing and how it was standing out from the pack, and obviously the almost entirely unique screen presence that is Prince in his raw, charismatic prime. When this was a new movie, blah blah blah. But especially 40 years later, as a time capsule, I kind of really liked it.
Right?
I mean, yes, reading a few of the negative reviews, I get it. It's unabashedly melodramatic. The gender politics were iffy even back then. People were generally shocked how little on-screen music there was, which fair. It's not as primal / conventional of a story as Purple Rain, perhaps. But this very much feels like Prince, who, even my passing knowledge of him was very much a, against the grain artist, basically taking all of the capital he accrued from Purple Rain and intentionally setting it on fire. And watching that in retrospect, where, it's 40 years ago, who cares? It's almost courageous because, you can tell like everything he's doing is like almost everything he's doing is the opposite of what quote unquote fans and or audiences might have expected or wanted from a movie, the next big Prince movie. But on its own, it looks gorgeous. I'm not going to say the acting is good, but the acting is appropriate for the heightened, not quite reality, but certainly not surreal or camp quality that it's going for. Um, Everybody on screen is just fucking sexy as hell. Even what's his name from the bad guy from Beverly Hills Cop and whatever. He's
Yeah.
also raw pure sexual charisma.
I like that now. I'm like,
Um,
these are the three movies I know him from now.
yes, exactly. um, and yes, I mean, as an aging, balding 46-year-old white man, I was scared, confused, and off-put by Prince's raw, unapologetic, what's that word? Damn it.
Androgynous.
Androgynous sexuality in all the right ways. I'm kidding. No, but this does feel like when you think almost a self-satirical version of why Prince was popular back in the day, it's this kind of star power and charisma. Putting aside the music and the singing, because as you said, there's not much of that. He's just, it's for a movie where he's playing this con man who is very easily able to seduce anyone in his path. Yes, that makes sense. I buy that. Absolutely, without question. Again, I'm surprised Steven Berkoff didn't want to fuck him halfway through the movie, but oh well. That
just
would have
didn't
been
admit
they probably wouldn't have gotten a PG-13. Um,
it
but
in New
yeah, I
Zealand.
mean, um, yeah, the story is somewhat cliche. It's somewhat formulaic. The ending is silly. Um, but who gives a shit? It's unlike any. I would hesitate to say but it's almost like I can say this is unlike any movie I've ever seen.
That's
And I know that's hyperbole, but because of that, it's like, fuck yeah, this really is one in a million.
it's not
And this,
unearned
to me, at least,
hyperbole. That
yeah,
that's
yeah,
because it does have that kind of a quality. Like, yes, you could like probably narrow it down and find other films that are very similar. But like when you look at like unique musical talent that just doesn't exist in the same way, taking on an avant-garde film about a a con artist that's shot in black and white in the eight is like there's not a lot of those. Like, I mean, like what are the other
yeah.
ones that are like that?
Um, but yeah, as a thing unto itself, I think it's both a terrific time capsule in terms of Prince's star power, even when you take away the music, and it's also just a one of a kind piece of, Hollywood showmanship. I don't know how often this pops up in repertory theaters, but I wouldn't mind seeing this on the big screen if the opportunity presented itself. Um, so yeah, I had a lot of fun with this.
So I'm gonna be the pissy pants. I didn't care for this movie.
All right.
I agree with Scott. I would like to see it on a big screen because I think that would function a lot better for me in a crowd or group or something. But the movie started up here for me, and this constantly started going down as it progressed. I thought Kristen Scott Thomas was quite fire in this one. I'm like, okay. I don't think I don't know I've seen a film of her this early in her career. Um,
This was our
so
first movie.
yeah, so I was just like, wow. Prince was fun, but it's like this. I like these kind of movies typically, but there was something just not functioning for me, and it was almost too much a vanity project at times. Where I was like, okay, somebody wanted to hook up with Kristen Scott Thomas really bad a lot through this movie, and it's all over the place. Um, I love that the cinematography is great. I love what they're going for. I don't think anything Aaron is saying is wrong about it in terms of like a lot of his praise, but it just was not functioning for me, and I was just kind of like, ugh. And I don't know. Maybe it was my mood on the day or something like this, and I was really hyped to go into this one, and I just found it falling flat for me. But I could see where it would have a cult appreciation, and I definitely would like to see it in a theater with an audience like that because I think it might turn me around a bit. But I just it wasn't. I don't know. Something wasn't clicking for me with it, and I usually click with things like this, and it was just like,
Yeah, I'm a
But
little surprised. I mean, I get it.
yeah,
It's and, like
yeah,
I could easily see myself being like, I thought it was okay, but like, no,
yeah,
I just for some reason I just was
yeah.
jiving with it.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
it
because like
started up high for me, and
I
then
hear you.
as it
Yeah,
continued, I just continued to check out. Like I was just like,
I do think it was again. I liked it quite a bit overall, but yeah, I would agree with you that it's
I,
strongest for me in the opening sections when it's
yeah,
basically vibes. The more it becomes a functioning narrative, it is by default a little bit less engrossing for me
I don't
because
disagree with that either. I
yeah,
think the sheer magna presence of like here's the other thing. I didn't grow up with Prince like in that way. Like
yeah,
I grew up with Michael Jackson on like when it comes to
yeah,
these things. So Michael
same.
Jackson
yeah,
among others, and I'm mostly a '90s kid too. So like
yeah,
and I didn't fall like pop that side of pop wasn't like my kind of thing. So like every time
yeah.
I see Prince stuff, it's not that I'm taking it back because I know Prince well enough, but like it does feel like I feel like this feels new to me in a way where it's not like
Hmm.
I'm matching it up against other Prince or other things like it. So it feels I don't say that's the only possible reason, but it does feel like there's a novelty here that I just haven't been exposed to nearly as much
Uh-huh.
where it just makes it feel like it's fresher in my eyes when I kind of see this sort of thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I perked back up when Kiss came on. I was like, oh, that's in this movie. Like, I was like, oh, okay. But like my first exposure to Prince was Batman, 1989. Like I was a Michael Jackson kid, and I was like, Prince. I heard of Prince, and I was like, Bat Dance. I was like, this is that guy, and all this stuff, and so like a lot of it, yeah. There's a lot of discovery with like I hadn't seen this movie. I did see Purple Rain, long ago, whatever, but and I usually like I love when people, they get their blank check to do something and they do something crazy, but this just wasn't I don't know why it wasn't working for me. And it's definitely a film I'm going to be. That's what the thing is. I will check this one out again because I didn't get the first time, but I'm like, this might need me to, now that I understand what I got, go back to it and see what's up there.
It's certainly like a fat, like, especially compared to other things we're going to get to. Like it's the most interesting film this week, I think. I mean, it's like it has stuff going on that's like, I'm curious what the thought process was behind some of this beyond just Prince wants to have fun. Like there's a kind of effort going into this movie that you don't like. Like I mentioned, It's like Harlem Nights and like Rumblefish got together and made this weird movie, and it's
well,
like,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, I'll take if I'm not gonna like if I'm gonna I would take this a million times over. Even if I'm not gonna like it, then some vanilla stuff that I'm like technically it's good. It's like we're gonna get some of that later in this week, but yeah, I'm much more. It's like while I'm saying it didn't work for me, I was fascinated, and I do appreciate. And you guys are saying things that I agree with, even though I'm like I'm not high on it.
Yeah, no,
so I'm like you're not. You're like you're wrong for that. I'm like no, you're right there. It just doesn't. It doesn't hit.
I'm only quietly seething at your reaction. It's fine,
right?
But,
Yeah.
I enjoyed this. I was taken aback by how much I was enjoying it. I was like, oh, okay. Like I thought Purple Rain would just be like the one, and it's like, yeah, he made a couple other things too that weren't. It's like, oh, and I don't think that it's not as good as Purple Rain.
No,
but I think that's very clear. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, but it's not like it for me. It wasn't like a giant like drag off either. It was just like, oh, okay, just whatever.
Well, this is kind of like that French Connection too, where it's like, oh, he made another one after Purple Rain. Or like, what was that? Like, because a lot of people don't realize French Connection 2, there's a sequel, their French Connection. So
the difference there, though, is that we all know French Connection 2 is pretty awesome.
It is awesome.
It's a pretty great movie.
It's really awesome.
It's like, wait, is this good? Right.
Frankenheimer.
Right? Yeah. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Frankenheimer in Europe. That's gone well.
Yeah.
All right.
For God's sakes, put on your seatbelt.
Let me.
Uh-oh.
I mean, how many Godzillas? Yoshi gives this one one. This bit is so worth it. I give it 3 Godzillas from the Yoshi egg basket here. There we go.
Right.
It's 3 Godzillas.
3 Godzillas. Who knew Godzillas were in those eggs? I did because I watched 1998's Godzilla from Roman Emmerich. I knew there were Godzillas in those eggs. Okay.
By the way, you and Terrence are doing a commentary for that when the time comes, right?
They're doing a commentary. They're doing a watch-along party.
It's funny. This is July, right? We're in July now?
We are in July, mid-July.
It's a good chance that episode comes out around the time this episode comes out.
Okay.
So you're going to rent out an IMAX theater, all out of your own pocket. Everyone else will be guests. Maybe we'll bring a potluck. I'll bring like a stew or something.
He's got a film cell for it.
The annoying part is, as much as I hate you guys for trying to convince me that I'm like, oh yeah, I need to get a lot of people. I'm like, that actually does sound like a fun day. Hating on Emmerich's Godzilla.
But it's got to be a 35 millimeter, otherwise,
I'll talk to Quentin.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well,
I'll talk to my buddy Steven down at Universal.
All right. Well, before we get to the next movie, let's take a look at let's take an ad break for this week.
Oh boy.
We can
okay.
See what we got going on this week.
I just want to say I'm tired of dumb old restaurants.
I agree. You gotta sit still and not run around. And do you know what else? They make you eat stuff like linguine.
And fucking gorilla! He's so scary.
The dream is always the same.
Oh no. Five Nights at Freddy's -1.
Oh my gosh.
Showbiz Pizza Palace.
Did
you notice the bit where all the kids step forward and the little girl on the far right, she pushes the other kid back because he missed his mark?
Yes.
You walk too far, and she noticed it. She's on the other side.
What's so bad about linguine?
I like linguine.
I'm surprised it wasn't sushi, because remember in the 80s it was like, ew, sushi, ew,
raw
sushi.
fish. Who eats
raw
that?
Fish.
So I had sushi before this podcast.
There you go. Sushi's good. That's what they didn't tell us, because I remember
my children love sushi, and that's why I'm poor.
Did you ever play the Nintendo game River City Ransom?
Oh yeah,
And you could buy sushi and
Yes.
it's like yeah.
that's why I love the Scott Pilgrim game is heavily influenced by River City Ransom.
Oh God, yes.
Well, that's like River City
Oh.
Ransom was like Nintendo can't do Final Fight, so here's this.
Yeah, they got their own version. Exactly.
So,
Oh Lordy.
oh, okay. So
Showbiz Palace. Okay.
Showbiz Pizza, where a kid
Pizza
could be.
Palace.
So
Pizza
there was
place.
Showbiz Pizza, and then there was Chuck E. Cheese, and then there was some sort of legal thing, and then they all became Chuck E. Cheese, and Billy Bob got moved out. He was the bear, and he was in charge of He was the Showbiz Pizza guy, and then they just took the Showbiz Pizza people and put Chuck E. Cheese with them.
And now he wanders the streets in
and
that
that
costume, haunted, killing everyone who gets in his way.
It always creeped me
Well,
out.
Chucky tried to send a message. The death count is astronomical. You must do something.
It always creeped me out because like they would have like between musical sessions, they'd bring down the screen and you'd see like the animatronic people out in the wild doing stuff. And, like I'm like, oh, the gorilla's gonna come get me. Always scary. Always
Did
scary.
the gorilla ever come get you?
No, apparently not.
Okay.
But
Just as Matthew Lillard had planned.
was there was that Simpsons where they were like had like a Chuck E. Cheese thing?
Yeah,
and it was like,
it's,
hello,
yeah.
boy/girl. What is your name? Bart. That's great. Yeah, I had birthday parties at Showbiz Pizza back in the day.
It's
You'd
a
eat
you're
there.
it's a you're a birthday, you're a birthday, you're a birthday, boy or girl. That's the song.
I remember I had like the greatest night one time. Like I think it was like I forget what it was. It was like a Saturday. My parents took me to Showbiz Pizza for dinner. And then there was like either it was like the Thundercats had a special on TV that night, or there was a rerun of the Ewok movie, one of the Ewok movies, and then I had rented Castlevania on Nintendo, and it was just like for some reason I just remember that night being awesome. Like that's
It was your own caravan of courage.
yes. And then Showbiz Pizza, and I think Chuck E. Cheese did it too, but they had parody posters of like movies. So they had
Yeah,
I used to
sounds
love
familiar.
that. I love that. It was by the Salad Bar, and yeah, I remember that. Good times. Good times. So
Those were the best years of my life.
yes. So not quite as scary as the gorilla from the band at Showbiz Pizza, but Howling 2.
Yeah.
Your Sister is a Werewolf open in an unknown amount of theaters this weekend. So yeah.
Party time. Ow!
It's the rocking, shocking, new wave of horror. Howling 2. Howling 2. It's not over yet.
Directed by Philip Mora. He had done The Beast Within prior to this and goes on to direct Howling 3. He did such a good job here. They were like, we're doing this again. We're in the Howling
What's
business.
Howling 3 called?
The Marsupials, right?
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah. I have it on Blu-ray.
I just love the titles of these series because you'd never guess what's next.
No. It's written by Robert Sarno and Gary Brander, based on the novel The Howling 2 by Gary Brandner. Starring Christopher Lee, Annie McEnroe, Reb Brown, Captain America. He's in this. We got Captain
There
America.
was. I noticed.
Marsha Hunt, Sybil Danning, Judd Omen, Ferdy Main. A man discovers that his sister was a werewolf and helps an investigator track down a gang of the monsters through the United States and Eastern Europe. This was composed by Stephen W. Parsons, who the only other thing I saw they did was another 9.5 weeks that was notable, and cinematography by Jeffrey Stevenson. This is the fourth and final film he ever shot. So yeah, Howling 2. Your sister is a werewolf. Scott.
Skipping ahead to sort of later in 1986/early 1987, whenever anyone talks about the Oscars as an institution, there's always a pretty robust debate about what film did win versus what film should have won, yada, yada, yada. Goodfellas versus Death with Wolves, Forrest Gump versus Pulp Fiction, whatever. But there's a pretty overall consensus that the Academy Awards got it right in 1987 by giving it to Oliver Stone's overwhelmingly acclaimed and successful Platoon. All of these years, I assumed Platoon was one of the rare examples where it was sort of the uncontested right choice for Best Picture. All of these years, I was wrong. Because holy shit, this film is insane from start to finish in a way that most films only claim to be, but are not. And, you know, first of all, the film opens with Christopher Lee giving a speech, and because of the way he looked and the way he was speaking, for like 3 seconds, I genuinely thought, wait a minute, is that the tall man from Phantasm? Why am I watching a Phantasm movie? It's like, oh, wait, that's Christopher Lee. What the fuck is... Okay, carry on, whatever. The film is just wild in a way that it's the kind of movie that like actually lives up to the box, so to speak, even though the poster art isn't particularly exceptional one way or another. Is it good? Of course not. No, it's ridiculous. It's terrible. But it's not boring. The special effects are like both terrific and awful, partially because, and I don't want to skip ahead in terms of trivia, but here one bit of trivia. Apparently the werewolf suits that came late, and they were not werewolf suits. They were secondhand ape costumes from a Planet of the Apes
Yes.
So they had to make
That
do
tracks.
with yes. But it's not since Steven Spielberg's original Jaws have I seen a film where so much cinematic innovation came about because everything fucking went wrong. I mean, the trivia on this film in terms of like they were spied on while they were in Czechoslovakia. Like the werewolf costumes couldn't handle the sex scenes, so they were just like sort of grinding by themselves. And the werewolf attack scenes were like almost obtuse and theoretical, despite being very gore drenched and on screen. Because again, they were fucking ape suits. They were wearing monkey costumes with werewolf hair glued on, pretending to be werewolves. Christopher Lee is a pro, and I mean that genuinely, but like he does give the film a certain, okay, somebody's earning his paycheck here. The film is just gleefully absurd in a way that sort of typifies what you hope these mid-'80s horror schlocktastic classics, will actually be. And a lot of times, even in better films like the first Hellraiser, good film, obviously, but at the end of the day, it's just about a woman who brings men back to her apartment and murders them. Now, the how and why of that is why Hellraiser is good, and you might also argue, as I do, that Hellbound was the movie we all thought Hellraiser was going to be, or wanted Hellraiser to be, in terms of spectacle and production value, what have you. Nonetheless, The Howling 2, and keep in mind, I've never seen any of the Howling movies. Blind Spot, Mea Culpa.
You never seen the first Howling?
No, I haven't.
You still haven't seen the first
better.
It's good? Okay, then I will generally watch it.
Oh no, I meant it's better that I think you just jumped in here with this one. I think that's great.
Carry on. Yeah. Well, no, this film pretty much gets you up to speed pretty quickly. I mean, short of having like a Rocky style montage.
That's one way to phrase it.
But again, is this good? No, of course not. But it is just wildly absurd, intentionally and otherwise, and it's certainly a frame of mind picture, but I had a hell of a time with it.
Gotcha. Aaron.
I'm curious if it's like the odd numbered howlings that are better than the even numbered howlings. Because I watched this movie, and suffice to say, I'm not nearly as enthusiastic as Scott is on it. I don't think it would make my top five in that Best Picture lineup. And I just saw Children of the Lesser God. It's pretty good. Um, but I did after watching Howling 2, My Sister's a Werewolf, one of the best titles, by the way.
Hmm.
I did go on and because
You
it was
can
also
have your electric boogaloos. I will take your sister's
Yes.
how that and like How's 2 Second Story, like these are quality
Yeah.
80s titles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's up there with the Deadly Art of Illusion
Yeah, I mean, yeah, or The Quickening. Um, but
and The Big Balloon Adventure.
I watched Howling 3, The Marsupials afterwards, and I responded way more to that movie. So much so I'm like I'd rather just talk about that film because it's also nuts but better. This one I wasn't a fan of. The Howling in general, like the first Howling, I've always been I don't want to say cool on it because I do think it's good because Joe Dante is a good filmmaker and like the effects are quite solid even though it came out the same year as the definitive werewolf transformation movie goes with American Werewolf.
It's got a great Roger Corman gag in the first Howling too.
It does. There's a good cat. I think it ends really strong in a way where I'm like, and it's funny that I've only seen 3 out of 7 Howling movies. 7, is that right?
Oh man, they that gets kind of Amityville a bit.
Yeah, that's why it's a little tough. But
yeah, so officially,
do we get to the found footage one?
There's
Because
one.
any horror franchise that goes on long enough gets a found footage.
There are 8, and I believe one is. There's.
Oh, I was half kidding.
I think
That's
the Howling
close.
Reborn might be because the last one was 2011. There was. Yeah. So there's the funny thing is Howling 4 is what the original Nightmare. Yeah, that's the fourth one. But there is Howlings 1 through 6, and then Howling New Moon Rising and Howling Reborn.
We could use a found footage Howling movie. Like he straps like a GoPro to his head so it stays on while he turns into a werewolf. That'd be fun.
Okay.
Take that, Howling. Where's Jason? Get him on the line. Anyway, Howling 2. What I was gonna say about the sequel, it feels like the all sort of like end in a similar fashion to some degree. But regardless, I just wasn't into this. I didn't like because the first Howling like is a good look for even for it's a good looking movie. This one doesn't look good by comparison, as you mentioned, and like it wasn't enough for me to be like I'm gonna go the other direction and praise it for the kind of schlocktasticness of it because I just wasn't as engaged as I wanted to be by it. Like if I was having fun with its dumbness, then that'd be something, but I wasn't here. I I'm happy to enjoy Christopher Leeing things, but I don't necessarily worship at the feet of Christopher Lee just because he's Christopher Lee. Like I do think he is an actor that knows how to ham it up and is not great at hamming it up at all times. That's why you delete certain scenes from certain trilogies with him because they're just not good.
Yeah.
So
that's why this got cut. I see.
So, just him being in something doesn't like make it an automatic win for me. So he's certainly doing the thing he was paid to do here, as many British actors tend to do. They get the money and they do the job. But like that wasn't the thing that was gonna like sell me over the top for this one. On top of that, yeah, the rest of this movie is just kind of like, all right, it's not near like the Howling has a fun story. The second one's like, let's rehash that in a weird way. Where it's like, yeah, my sister, we're also journalists, and I don't care. I wasn't going for it. The costumes look dumb, and werewolf movies are weirdly notorious for being like we can't seem to get the werewolf right. So, so it's like it always stands out when like you actually get a good one for a change when you get your Ginger Snaps or your London or your Not Paris or that one Eli Roth show that got canceled.
I've never seen Paris. Is it any good?
No.
Okay.
No.
I mean,
although when you're a child and you watch That Thing You Do and then you watch Paris, you're like, Tom Everett Scott's here also, and you're like, I guess I like him. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
Julie Delpy.
and Julie Delpy's
Yeah.
like trying her best to get
Yeah.
that paycheck for whatever movie she was funding at that time. But no, that's not a good movie, and this one isn't either. As much as I hadn't seen it before, and I'd always been curious because it's called My Sister's a Werewolf. So I'm like, well, obviously you got me in right there. But unfortunately, it wasn't one that won me over in the same way it did for Scott, where I think texted me
Totally
right
fair.
after. Right after he texted me, he said, "Tom Berenger can suck it. The Howling 2 is one of the best films I've ever seen." And I'm like, all right, I don't. That's a little cryptic, but
And then I said, sorry, I meant William Dafoe, but
yeah. Then he sent me this GIF.
Yes.
So
no, I totally get that. Jokes aside, and I had a thought, but I lost it.
Well, let's let Brandon go and talk about his thoughts.
So when you decided 86, and I looked at the movies, I saw this one was there, and I circled this date because you know what? Scott's right. Because this movie I have been a fan of for such a long time because it is so fucking good. So if you liked Under the Cherry Moon as your best film for this week, this is mine for this week because this thing is so fucking nuts, so crazy. Like the epitome of this film is the scene where Christopher Lee gets those glasses that don't fit his face that look weird, and he's like cool looking.
Yes,
that's this whole movie in a nutshell. And he only took this job because he said no to Halloween, and then saw the success of Halloween, and this similar role was coming in a horror franchise, and he's like, you know what? I'm not saying no again. And
I didn't get on the ground floor. I didn't get on the ground floor, but the sequel's going to be where it's really at.
Right. Yeah. I saw this movie in high school, I think, and it was just like, wow. Even then, the editing is weird on this one. There's that song that they're just like, well, we paid for this, so we might as well fucking use
They sure paid for that song. That is definitely true.
It's everywhere in this movie, and it's man, this movie.
Sybil knows that was
paid
paid for in this movie.
Okay, and then by the time the credits go to roll, there's no scenery left from this movie because Sybil Danning chewed all of it up. Like she just comes in this outfit and it's like, yep. This is what you do, Sybil. This is what they put you in everything you're in. And then she was like, apparently the story goes she was against being topless in this film.
That paid off.
And then agreed to do one shot. And the director said, fine. And he did the one shot. And then he went to go film something else. It was in the hands of editors in the studio. And the end credits were 17 times. That's how many times they re-show her taking it off. And the director had no idea that they did this because they wanted to shoot, according to them, this was intended to be a comedy the whole time. And then those pesky studio people got it and tried to make it a serious movie or they tried something the other way.
Zero?
It's like when Uwe Boll went back and made the comedy cut of House of the Dead.
Right, yeah. So
just like that.
I don't know what the excuse, if there's excuses or they're playing it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, doing that with the end credit, it's so. I like that it's a proto version of Sharon Stone being surprised at the Basic Instinct premiere.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, this one's great. They took the werewolf cult from the first movie and cranked it to 11 with costumes and weird people and all sort nobody can deliver a line normal here. Yeah, no one can deliver a line normal here, except they even counts Reb Brown, who he can't deliver it normal because he can't deliver. So that's part of the thing with him.
He delivered Red Skull's ass on a basket. That's
he did do that, right? With Christopher Lee. Wasn't Christopher Lee was in one of his Captain America movies too? They were getting back together.
Too soon. The crappy sequel. I mean, they're both bad, but
right.
There's a second Captain America movie?
Yeah, they made two TV movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in the 70s. Yeah.
This isn't the same as the other. Okay, got it. All right.
No, this is not the
1991.
Yeah,
okay.
That's actually noticeably better.
Yeah, the Red Brown one, his helmet is a motorcycle helmet.
I know. Okay, now I know what you're referring to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get lost in these like 70s like that and Spider-Man and like Hulk like all this stuff.
Like Reb Brown was basically the D level Ryan O'Neal in the 70s, pretty much.
Ugh.
That's like I'm not even giving him C. Like he's a former athlete, moving on to they did a whole lot of that, but not everybody could be Jim Brown or
He was in Platonic Story.
Fred Williamson. Yeah, Platonic Story.
Thank you.
I love that. Oh man. Oh gosh. Oh, what's the line from Love Story?
Love is
never having to say you're sorry.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, what? Huh? What? What? Can you say it
again? So I own Howling 2 on Blu-ray. I haven't upgraded to 4K because
there's a 4K of this
from Vinegar Syndrome of all people. But I'm not paying like this kind of movie. I will like my max is going to be $18 to do it. There's like 19. A souped up, not 19, 18. Because I'm like my Blu-ray looked fine for this and stuff, and it's just so bug nuts crazy, this movie, and I've enjoyed it for a long time, and I'm glad Scott found some enjoyment in it.
Have you seen Marsupials?
Yeah, I've seen them. I own the first 6 because because Shout Factory put out 1, 2, and 3, and then I have this triple pack of like 4 or no okay. There was a triple pack I have of 3, 5, and 6, and then on DVD there's a 2 double feature I have of Ghoulies 4 and Howling 4. So I have
obviously
that way. Yeah.
Do you like Marsupials?
It's okay. Yeah, I like this better, but
I like the costumes more in Marsupials.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah.
Because they're
they're werewolves.
They're werewolf kangaroo. They're werewolf marsupials.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's different.
Which for the longest time, like Howling 3 was rumored like it was not a Howling movie, and they just called it one. But it's the same director as
it's
this.
The same thing, and it ends exactly the same as the first Howling.
Right. What they did was they just threw out the book because this is like the Howling is a book series, and it
amuses me to
and that is the funniest thing. Yeah, the Howling series is
there's books.
Not just like the first one was based off.
Yeah, there's books.
So it's this the Die Hard of werewolf series.
It's the Bourne series of werewolf.
Oh yeah,
that's what it is.
Well, and we got to note that like this is at the end of like there was a werewolf movement in the early 80s that was going on. There was like a bunch, and this is like coming off like this is like post that at the end of it.
They were marching, they were advocating for equal rights. It was really weird.
Morgan Freeman was co-starring with them.
Right.
They danced. They danced again.
Matthew Broderick advocated for their rights.
Instead of Brad Pitt and Matt Damon, it was Cheech and Chong as crawfish or whatever the fuck. Krill. They were Krill having an existential crisis about living. All right.
I don't know if it was supposed to be a comedy thing is true, but I do love the fact that Your Sister's a Werewolf sounds like a Disney Channel movie.
Right.
Which just makes me
it definitely does. That's what I like about it. Yeah. It's so innocent sounding. Okay, Yoshi.
I was a teenage werewolf.
Come on, Yoshi.
Yoshi gives this one 2 Godzillas.
Oh, that's high.
You, Yoshi.
That's high for what I thought Yoshi was going to get.
Well, we haven't got to the other movies yet.
All right. So for me, Howling 2,
Godzillas.
Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf, Brandon gives 5 stars. There you go. So we'll move on to the TV ratings this week. The Nielsen not the Nielsen top 10, just the most viewed, whatever.
Tonight.
This case is not as simple as it seems.
Will Jessica convict an innocent man? Vicki Lawrence and McDonald Carey star in Murder, She Wrote.
Guess who's taking the throne back this week?
Hey.
The Cosby Show. Number 1, Cosby. We love I Spy. We love Ghost Dad. We love it all, right?
Those buddy comedies.
Leonard Part 6.
Yep, the commentary next month and out now with Aaron and Abe, August.
That is the worst thing he has ever done in his life. Can't think of anything worse.
Cheers.
Rock bottom.
Cheers next, Brandon.
Family Ties repeat on NBC. Golden Girls repeat on NBC, and then Cheers repeat on NBC. Followed by number 5, Murder, She Wrote repeat on CBS. Growing Pains repeat on ABC. Who's the Boss repeat on ABC. Night Court repeat on NBC right there. And, Night Court's been huge. Like I for some reason I don't remember it. I remember it always being on, but it was a juggernaut for a while, and it must have just because it only went 4 or 5 seasons. I think it got 5, but must have dropped heavily after some point.
I think the relaunch is comparatively doing fine as far as network TV goes in 2025, 2026.
The Night Court thing
didn't it get canceled.
Yeah,
I believe it finally stopped, but it was for a while. It was doing well enough.
Yeah.
I like John Larroquette in general. I like seeing him on TV. So I'm all. I watched a little bit.
Yeah,
of
it went it went 3 seasons and was canceled last year.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't grow up
in the streaming era.
I didn't grow up with Night Court, so I watched the new one. I'm like, okay, it's fine, but I don't have any vestige towards it.
I grew up with Night Court. I liked it. Yeah,
just because it was on after Must See TV or whatever. The John Larroquette show that he did after that, where he was.
I watched that. I watched that one. Yeah, that was I liked that a lot.
I was Richard Mole on Night Court was always.
What was the Larroquette show? He worked at a Subway or something like that. Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
He worked at a Subway.
He was an MTA guy.
And
not sandwiches.
Yeah, he wasn't eating fresh. No, he was working at a Subway, an underground railroad type situation.
Was it Nirvana the band, the show, the movie? Did they have the Jared thing? They went back in time.
There was a Jared joke in that one. Yes.
Joke.
Yeah,
that's funny. Number 9 is a Newhart repeat on CBS, and then 10, Kate and Allie repeat on CBS. Movies this week. Only one movie was on Sunday on ABC. Chapter 2 from 1979, starring James Caan, Marsha Mason, and Valerie Harper. We have some TV movies throughout the week. On Monday on NBC, they showed The Execution from 1985, starring Loretta Swift, Rip Torn, Jessica Walter, Barbara Barry, Sandy Dennis, Valerie Harper. Again, she was all over TV this week, and Michael Lerner. And
what a cast!
What a cast! Friday on CBS, they showed Running Out from 1983, starring Deborah Raffin, Ari Myers, Tony Bill, Tony Caleb, and Anthony Michael Hall. Sunday, CBS showed Amos from 1985, starring Kirk Douglas, Elizabeth Montgomery, Dorothy McGuire, and Pat Morita. We got anything with Morita? Karate Kid's doing good at the box office. Throw it on there. And then Sunday night, they showed part 1 of a miniseries called Celebrity, starring Michael Beck, Joseph Bottoms, James Whitmore, Ben Masters, Ned Beatty, Tess Harper, Hal Holbrook, Kelly Maroney, and River Phoenix. Those were the TV movies this week on TV. Next, we will move to another movie with an unknown theater account this weekend. Opened Miracles.
I told you one stick was enough.
Roger and Jean have a problem. After only 12 hours of blissful divorce,
Oh my God!
They can't stop running into each other.
Are you all right? Jean.
Roger. You're down there. Oh.
All right. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
In the next 2 days, they'll have an adventure of a lifetime.
Where the hell would you be if you didn't have that gun? Answer me that, huh? With this.
But they may or may not survive. They're going to be kidnapped.
Tied up. Ow.
Shot at. Hijacked. Left for dead.
Roger, look.
They're vultures. They won't eat you out of professional courtesy.
Banged up. Swept away.
This is the last damn straw.
Marooned. Lost in the jungle. Busted out of jail.
Doc! Doc?
stoned and cursed. Roger and Jean. Their marriage never had a prayer. And it's going to take a miracle to save their divorce.
I think I have the hang of it now.
Miracles.
Directed by Jim Koof. He'll go on to direct Gang Related and 2 episodes of Grimm. He also wrote it and thinks he's written before with The Boogans, Stakeout, The Hidden, Rush Hour, National Treasure. I got a note. Aaron wanted me to mention that he wrote Taxi, starring Jimmy Fallon and Queen Latifah.
That was mean of you.
Starring Tom Conti, Teri Garr, Paul Rodriguez, Christopher Lloyd, the actor, Ken Lerner, and Charles Rocket. Roger and Jean learn the hard way that when you are meant to be together, nothing can keep you apart. The newly divorced couple keep running into one another, literally, and in the process rediscover their love for one another. Composed by Peter Bernstein. He did both Ewok TV movies, My Science Project, Bolero. Huh?
Oh.
Yeah. Hot Dog the movie and Hamburger the motion picture. He did both those. 100.
We got the rights.
Yeah, he did 101 episodes of 21 Jump Street. He did, and then lastly, I did Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys, and this was shot by John Alcott, who was a Kubrick guy doing 2001, Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon, and The Shining. Also shot Terror Train, Beastmaster, Greystoke, Vice Squad, and his final film was No Way Out. Aaron, what you got to say about Miracles? Curious.
If Tom Conti had played Einstein again, I might have enjoyed it more. It would have been an intriguing way to watch his performance. Bad. Boring. Bad. Those are keywords that kept kind of like going in circle around my head. Oh, a dental plan. Like it was that too. It was weird. I don't have a lot for this one because I watched this and I was like, just kind of real hand on the face, kind of leaning in and just being like, okay, like we're doing this, I guess. Like Jake Speed?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna say that's leagues better because it's also bad, but and like part of the problem was its lack of momentum, but like that movie felt like the fucking Roadrunner compared to watching this thing. It felt like all the bad parts of that movie. And like I don't know, like as far as like people stuck in a desert for various portions of movies like Ishtar, except I like Ishtar more than its reputation suggests. But like there are bad parts of Ishtar.
It just costs so much. That's
that's the main issue. But there are parts where you're like, this could have been tightened up a little bit. but no, there's not like I was intrigued because I'm like, oh, okay, like a two-hander of Teri Garr. Who doesn't want to spend 2 hours with Teri Garr?
More Teri Garr, yeah.
That's fun. I want to do that. And boy, this feels so bad that I'm sure there's like some like regiment out there that loves this fucking movie. And it's like, oh man, that's what Hollywood couples really do what they were doing. Like, because I'm just sitting here being like, this is not for me. Whatever this is not the thing for me. In the same way that like that Alan Alda movie was also like not really for me. Like this feels like it's not for me. It's because it's not like it's egregiously terrible. It's not like making like filmmaking mistakes as far as how to do this kind of thing. It just kind of sucks. That's my 15 years of criticism paying off right there.
Why does it suck? It just does.
It just does. No, it's because it's like the chemistry's not bad. It's a well shot movie. There's an idea for a plot there. It just is. It's drier than the desert they're in. Like it's it's not like tame. I mean, it's tame as far as like it's not like it's a raunchy comedy anyway. But like it's just so like it's so flat. It just falls in this zone of my interest could not be raised by anything they're doing. Like when you watch the Out of Towners remake of Steve Martin and Goldie Hawn, you're like, this on paper should work. But it just doesn't. It just is like there's nothing here, even though you have very talented people working together, and it should be something. It's just kind of like, huh. got nothing for this. So it's not to look down upon these two stars or the people involved in it. It's just they made a movie that has left zero impression on me and presumably the world, since I don't think anyone's looking like, oh yeah, Miracles, that 1986 caper. No, it's just a pretty nothing of a movie. It's like by default maybe one of the worst things we've watched so far, because I'm like, it'd be one thing if it was like interestingly bad, but it's not. It's just like dust. So
all right,
that's all I got.
Okay, Scott.
I more or less agree. I mean, fuck, what was the name of the Aldo one? I want to say Chasing
Sweet Liberty.
Sweet Liberty.
Sweet Liberty. Yeah,
Sweet
that's fucking
Liberty.
ruthless people compared to this in terms of polish and, Hollywood glitz and glamour, yada, yada, yada. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this movie other than it's not good. But yeah, you could argue that some of the characterizations are quote unquote problematic. No shit. I'm generally confused by the framing device that eventually pays off the film's title. It seems from an entirely separate movie.
Right.
And it opens up a discourse that, sweet Jesus, this movie is not willing or ready or should really need to have. Because, I mean, I'm not going to say it'd be better or worse, whatever, but there is a version of this movie where the plot happens just through happenstance, and spoilers, I guess, at the end of the movie, they get away, realize they still love each other and whatever. But they're, as set up in the prologue, there's this subplot involved, the notion of like, they were there as like God's will, or one God's will or another, in order to give very basic medical treatment to a young girl and living in a quote unquote third world place. Because, if less the white doctor showed up, she would have died. Again, you could spend an hour unpacking that, but I'm not going to. And I don't think the movie wants to either. And I guess, I'm befuddled. Like, was that there originally? Was that something that was added in to give the film more like, oh, everything happened for a reason? Or was that like a plot from a different movie that for whatever reason was included in this one? And again, we'll probably never know the answer. It doesn't matter. It just very much befuddled me. The other thing that just annoyed me, just from a storytelling point of view, is like the reason the film eventually gives for why their marriage ended is like such a specific incident that, like, okay, if everything else was fine before this, then there's no reason you shouldn't have been able to talk this out and move on accordingly. And yeah, that's a nitpick, but that's a pretty good scene in a film otherwise lacking in good scenes. Partially because one of the few times where the two of them just get to act and they aren't like hardcore slapstick reacting to chaos all around them kind of thing. It's weird because it's not long. It's only like 83 minutes long.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's not a long movie.
It is short and
like,
long at the same time.
I perked up because of how short it was. Like, how is this so long?
Well, it's one of those movies that it's an 86-minute movie where like 90% of the movie is done in the first 25 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like by the time they have to land the plane for reasons that are too complicated to go into, that feels like the climax, but you're at best just at the end of the first act. But nothing really happens for the next hour. Anyway, I'm not going to keep talking about this. It has been forgotten, probably for good reason. It stinks. It's mediocre at best, and it makes the next movie comparatively feel like a comedy masterpiece, which is not fair to either movie. So yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of like going into that what was the one Hanky Panky, Scott? It was like,
yeah,
when we did 82, it was like, oh, Sidney Poitier, we got Gene and Gilda. Oh yeah. But this is so bad. I was like so excited. I'm like, oh, Teri Garr, cool. Oh, it's Christopher Lloyd. Conti's just so through this. Like, why didn't what might have made this movie a little better is if Christopher Lloyd was that guy and they had him and Teri Garr as the couple rather than it would have been a little more cartoonish, but that would have helped this movie somewhat. Paul Rodriguez in this, he's a guy who's never done anything for me. And it's like feels like he was born to be quick cameo in movies later on. Like that was
Yes.
just, and I just don't get it with him. He's the kind of guy who shows up and immediately his presence feels like you're not in a movie anymore. I don't know how he does it, but I just have never, I don't like hate the guy, but there's just a weird thing he's got energy wise that just doesn't do it for me. But yeah, this movie is just like, what was that? This is like the 86 version of a Date Night with Steve Carell and Tina Fey, where it's like, nope.
Yes.
Look at us getting look at us getting all messed up in our nice clothes as we get into these crazy hijinks that just bore me to tears.
Suggest that we should be having a good time with the audience, and we're not.
Yes.
And yet the movie still makes $100.
Yeah.
We used to be a country.
I mean, yeah, this thing, like, it's just like, let's have them in holding cells just chatting. They're in a helicopter and all they're gonna do is talk. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Like, it's they seem to want Teri Garr and Tom Conti to be way too serious because the stuff around them's so crazy, but the stuff around them isn't that crazy, except for like Christopher Lloyd and Paul Rodriguez going over the top with stuff whenever they show up, but it's not like welcome. I'm like, I guess I'll stay with the boring couple. Like, I don't know. And it's like kind of confusing as to what's up with the relationship at the beginning too. The way it starts out and stuff. It's like, wait, what is this? But man, I don't know. I was like, this was such a movie where you're like, it's so short and you're like, I gotta get through this. And it's bad.
I was gonna message you of like, do you guys remember this period of anti-comedy in the 80s and that's why you chose this?
It was unscheduled. I didn't choose it. But man,
you said when you were throwing out the summer at us, you're like, guys, you can't wait. The Fly.
Been waiting for miracles.
Miracles. You guys are gonna shit yourselves when you get to this movie this summer.
Guess what we're gonna bring back? Guess what we're gonna turn the conversation back on? Miracles. Why aren't people talking about this? So
you'll never guess what 80s comedy is #1 on Netflix. Like Back to School. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. All right.
Right.
I get that. Okay.
Oh, so bad. So bad.
I believe Yoshi's gonna give this one. Let's take a 1 Godzilla out of 5.
We're gonna add Godzilla to Howling too because of how bad it is. All right. So we'll move on to the case of American Top 40.
American Top 40.
On American Top 40, I'm Casey Kasem.
Hits from coast to coast.
The countdown continues on our way to #1.
Here are the top 10 from that list. For this week, we have debuting in the top 10, Tough Enough by Fabulous Thunderbirds. Number 9, Your Wildest Dreams by Moody Blues. Number 8, No One Is to Blame by Howard Jones. Number 7, Danger Zone, Kenny Loggins. Number 6, Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel. Number 5, Who's Johnny by El DeBarge. Okay. Number 4, Nasty by Janet Jackson. Number 3, There'll Be Sad Songs, Billy Ocean. He's dropped from number 1, so he will not be holding that. Number 2, Invisible Touch by Genesis. And that means we have a new number 1. I keep holding on. Holding Back the Years by Simply Red.
Okay.
Yeah. As a reminder, you can check out the Friday music video series as myself and another guest, a carousel of them, talk about the songs, bands, and music videos from these Casey Kasem top 10s. And as we move on to our main feature this week that played in 1,172 theaters, it's Club Paradise.
Harold Ramis, director of National Lampoon's Vacation.
Remind me to get a new pilot.
Invites you to Club Paradise.
Anybody help me!
I was curious to see what was going on at this perverted passion pit. Robin Williams.
Am I going to be able to take a decent shower?
I'm on the case. Peter O'Toole, Rick Moranis, Club Paradise, the vacation you'll never forget, no matter how hard you try. Rated PG-13. Sneak preview Saturday, July 5th.
All right. Directed by Harold Ramis. Written by Harold Ramis and Brian Doyle Murray, on a story by Harry Shearer, Tom Leopold, Chris Miller, and David Standish. Starring Robin Williams, Peter O'Toole, Rick Moranis, Jimmy Cliff, Twiggy, Adolph Caesar, Eugene Levy, Joanna Cassidy, Andrea Martin, Brian Doyle Murray, Joe Flaherty, and small parts in here played by Bruce McGill and Carrie Lowell. This movie's about a retired Chicago firefighter who partners with a reggae singer to turn a seedy Caribbean nightclub into a resort for affluent tourists. Composed by David Mansfield and Van Dyke Parks. Mansfield was a Cimino guy. He did Heaven's Gate, Year of the Dragon, The Sicilian. And then Van Dyke, he composed Follow That Bird and Erie, Indiana. Cinematography by Peter Hannon. He did Monty Python's Meaning of Life, With Nell and I. He did second unit on Children of Men, In Fright, Sleepy Hollow, Harry Potter, and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This movie was originally intended to be a Bill Murray and John Cleese duo movie. Harold Ramis replaced John Landis as the director and wouldn't direct a movie again until Groundhog Day in 1993. We won't be getting there. So, Scott, did you find paradise in the club?
No. The club.
Don't let all the names I listed from the director to writer to cast fool you into watching this movie, folks. Sorry. Anyway.
Correct. That being said, the one nice thing I will say about this picture is that, and this is a weird thing to say because he's the lead of the film, but it feels like Robin Williams is acting in a more interesting, grounded, almost plausible, and comparatively compelling version of this picture. And that includes his scenes with Peter O'Toole to a certain extent. And I'm not going to say he's laugh out loud hilarious, but, it's always, I enjoy seeing Robin Williams both playing a regular guy and at a point in his career where he basically was just a regular working actor that happened to, also do stand-up that people really liked. But other than that, I mean, everyone else in the movie is a over-the-top caricature who isn't funny and isn't compelling and isn't particularly entertaining. There's another film that, and again, I'm not going to get up on a high scolding mountaintop about this, but it's another weird 80s film that gets into some really dicey geopolitical politics here in a way that's just, and again, we see that a lot in 80s comedies where it was almost like, whether it was a matter of like, we need films that have action, adventure, and excitement or people won't show up, but there was a certain tendency to have these otherwise run-of-the-mill comedies that ended in like a couple notches below a James Bond film in terms of spectacle. That's an exaggeration, but anyway. But no, the rest of the movie is terrible. It's not funny. It's not interesting. It's not particularly compelling. I will say that I was entertained and intrigued by the scenes where it's just Robin Williams acting against actors that weren't just doing farce. And again, Peter O'Toole does the job. Forgive me, a female lead escapes me. Going to hell for forgetting
Twiggy?
that.
Twiggy.
Yes.
Twiggy, yep.
Sure. She's fine. And the two of them have perfectly fine whatever chemistry. But other than that, the film is just not very good. It's just boring. And I don't have that much more to say about it other than you're right. Considering the talent involved, it's kind of shocking how indifferent I felt about this.
Gotcha. Aaron, lighten us up.
It's very sunny in the movie, so you lighten that up.
There we go.
It's a movie I've never seen it until now, and it's it's the one you always hear about. It's like, yeah, there's that like that. There's a couple of those. Like there's Used Cars and Club Paradise. Like these movies that like kind of exist in the '80s that you
Mm-hmm.
maybe have seen, maybe not. Used Cars is much better than this. This one, you're like Harold Ramis made like there's like another kind of like in the there's Animal House and I know it's not Harold Ramis, but bear with me. There's Animal House and there's Caddyshack, and I was like, and they went to an island. So that makes sense, I guess. But boy. Like there's diminishing returns, and then there's whatever the fuck this movie is. This is awful.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is so bad. Um, Robin Williams, sure, he's doing what he can because he's Robin Williams, but I like me, I like just what Robin Williams doesn't save a lot of bad movies for me at all. I'm
True.
not forgiving on Hook or fucking Jack or Flubber or any number of
Toys.
mostly his 90s
Patch
toys.
Adams.
Patch Adams.
Oh God.
The, like
It's funny. This is one of the things that, and I'll shut up because I interrupt you. I apologize. But as funny as Robin Williams was, and he may be one of the funniest people on the planet, most of his comic movies were not good.
Oh,
when I make a list of my favorite Robin Williams movies, they're almost all either outright dramas or films where he plays a funny character in what is otherwise a drama. Fisher
Good Morning,
King,
Vietnam.
Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah.
Like my favorite comedy of his, other than like Aladdin, which you can count that or not, whatever, is World's Greatest Dad, which is not in any way a stereotypical Robin Williams comedy.
It's funny because
Anyway,
that's honestly, I think I agree with you. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think there's like a straight Robin Williams comedy that I love as much as that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, regardless, this one just it's weird because like there's so many SCTV guys in here who are legit.
Right.
Like we're one John Candy short from a Full House. Like, I don't know what, like, so it's insane that like there's so much talent in this. And I'm gonna say this right now, as much as I, have problems with a lot of Robin Williams comedies outside of him, um, I don't think Eugene Levy gets funny until way later in his career outside of SCTV.
Yeah.
So like this is not doing it for me whatsoever in this one. He feels like what Albert Brooks would be if Albert Brooks wasn't funny. Like that's what I always get from Eugene Levy. Like he doesn't work for me. For like Splash is another one where it's like this guy's just fucking annoying. Get him out of this movie. Like let me just watch Tom Hanks and John Candy have fun with Daryl Hannah. I don't need his plot. I see him in a lot of like 80s was like Eugene Levy is a treasure, but boy, it's a good thing he found Christopher Guest because like he is not doing anything for me and anything else here beyond just being like the big hairy guy with the eyebrows. Everything Twiggy. You mentioned Peter O'Toole a number of times. I think he's bad at this movie. I like sure there's like maturity to the scenes involved just because by nature of being Peter O'Toole, but like he feels like even what's the first Romero found footage movie? Is it Survival of the Dead? Or
Diary of the Dead.
Diary of the Dead. He feels like the British character in that film that's like, I'm Stuffy Professor Man, and I have no other character except this. That's what Peter O'Toole feels like. He feels like I get to go to an island, I guess, and there's money, so sure. Michael Caine did it. He seems like he had a good time. I guess I could do the same thing. That's
in a better movie, I'd agree with you, but I was desperate.
His presence like is so like like Christopher Lee feels at home in The Howling 2 at least. It's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
He does a lot of crap. Like Peter O'Toole, I'm like, was this the start? Like, because I've seen later Peter O'Toole films. He's in a lot of like random shit, like Phantoms, right? So it's like, okay.
Oh, God. He was
Right.
the bomb in Phantoms.
Yeah. He actually is. It's like everyone puts, the Affleck thing's funny, but it's Peter O'Toole and Liev Schreiber. They're the bomb in Phantoms.
They're the bomb.
But no, this is, and it's like it felt interminable. Like that last movie was 86 minutes. This was what, 16 hours? Like how long was this movie? Like I
thought I was gonna have to turn a disc over. Jeez.
It's just not funny. And what's like it has. Like I like the Charles Grodin one more than this because like that one like has its issues, but like at least one point I smiled during that movie numerous times, so that's one thing it has right there. But also it felt like it felt more ambitious by comparison to this movie, where it's like was everyone just that lazy where they thought we could just put them together and it'll be magic? Because there's just nothing here. Despite like Rick Moranis is like everyone's here. There's so much like potential for this to be
They're just
like better
missing
than it
Catherine
is.
O'Hara and
And Candy, like that's all. Like
Andrea Martin. They've got
Andrea Martin. Like it just feels like such. It's like not just a misfire, but like propelling in the other direction of again anti-comedy. Like that's what it feels like. It's like I don't know how you screw something up this badly. Like it'd be one thing just to be like hit or miss. This is like what? Like how did we do this? I don't understand. But I dressed up for this one for this comedy, so I got that going for me.
And I will say, mea culpa, the one all-around Robin Williams comedy that I think is excellent is The Birdcage, which I forgot.
Oh, I forgot about Birdcage. Yeah, Birdcage is great. Yeah, that's true.
But otherwise, I mean, this is slightly funnier than his Emmy-winning episode of Homicide: Life on the Street.
It's as funny as The Night Listener.
Yes. Jesus.
Right. I mean,
Brandon.
Yeah, this movie
It makes the world's angriest man look like the world's greatest dad.
If we consider this an SCTV movie, this is 3 very, very, very long years removed from Strange Brew coming at you. And yeah, you mentioned Tropico's resort comedies this year. Woof.
Yeah.
Not doing it. Not doing it. I didn't like this one. I get what they're doing, but like I also wanted to tell it to pick a lane because I couldn't get on board with any of these, and maybe the guy who runs the place isn't the good focal point starting. Maybe a guest coming into it, like maybe we follow Rick Moranis. And
I don't need
Levy.
like 10 minutes of him firefighting. What the fuck?
There was and I agree with you, Aaron. Peter O'Toole.
This is a shockingly big and well-constructed action sequence in this.
It is, yeah. It's
lackadaisical
wild.
comedy.
It's wild, yeah. So I agree.
Set me up for what?
Yeah, I agree with Aaron. Peter O'Toole, like he's in some other movie in this. Like he even looks like he's color timed differently than the rest of the movie. He's like 8 foot tall.
He's weirdly framed.
He's like 8 foot tall. His color scheme doesn't match anything in the movie, and like it feels like off from everything. Like it's really weird how he comes in here and like he's supposed to
go
be
through there.
Co-lead second build, like, and he doesn't feel present enough to be that. Like, I just like I can't get on board with like any of these stories. And the Twiggy is somebody like I am not like I had missed everything she'd done until this year. I had to review. I did the Blu-ray for The Boyfriend, which was her breakout, was a Ken Russell movie. And then like her career, she's not like acting was like a priority, I don't think, or she just wasn't getting roles. I don't know, because it's kind of sporadic, and I just never ran into anything. And now this is the second time I saw it. It's fine. But like poor Joanna Cassidy has to be hooked up with Peter O'Toole for this, and I don't think she's into it.
She wanted the snake more in Blade Runner than she did want this.
Yeah. So yeah, and like you read this cast off, you're like, oh, all right, this is no, this ain't Groundhog Day Harold Ramis for sure. This is not Stripes Harold Ramis. This is not
this is barely Evolution Harold Ramis.
Right.
Barely multiple Harold Ramis.
Yeah. Like this is, I mean, people want to dog the Adam Sandler comedies for going to like resort places and stuff and having fun, but those are more enjoyable to watch than this shit.
Yeah, there's jokes to a degree. Like
they may be making immature jokes, throwing too many jokes, saying some things that are but like everybody's having fun. I'm enjoying. I will laugh at some points in them. Like they're way better, way better than this. And some of those have Rob Schneider in them. Come on,
comedy genius.
Like it's yeah. This
is Evolution's Ivan Reitman, right? Are we just to make that clear?
I was
yeah.
Apologies.
I don't want to get letters from listeners.
Yeah, it's also Robin Williams' last movie was the angriest man in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
not the angriest. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robin Williams. Yeah, it's just like he becomes this gigantic star, but I'm
just looking through these movies.
Like it's
sorry.
He made excellent dramas. And I even like what's the one where like it was 5 different lifetimes and
I don't
Okay,
know.
hold on.
We did Garp in '82, Scott. We did
Yeah.
that one,
Good
and that was
movie.
like depressing movie. But he'll it's crazy because everybody's like, oh, the funny guy, but it's like,
well,
I think we liked his.
and I feel the same way about, I think Jim Carrey is a very funny guy, but yeah, I loved Ace Ventura when I was a kid. I think the sequel, frankly, holds it better than the original for reasons.
Yes.
But it's not like I was laughing my ass off at The Mask or Liar Liar. I thought was fine, but I tend to like the ones that sort of where he is a little more serious, or the movie around him is a little bit more serious. But whatever. I'm so afraid I'm stalling because I'm trying to figure out the movie I'm thinking of.
No, I'll for Carrey, I'll go to back because I like the Jim Carrey movies a lot more than some of these.
Fair.
As far as '90s nostalgia goes, you can keep your hook all you want to. I'll take the. I think The Mask is a great like comic book movie for one thing, and Liar Liar is the one I tend to go as far as my like.
You guys are all big on number 23 as well, right?
Boy, that was a thing that we saw.
That
in
is
theaters.
his funniest film.
Scott and I went and saw. Didn't we see a test screen of that?
We did.
And I guess they changed the ending, but I never watched it again after. So I know a different ending to that movie than what was in theaters.
I don't remember the original ending, to be honest.
I don't remember either. I just remember being
Number
really
23
excited. I was really excited for that movie, and then really let down by that movie.
And then you remember that Joel Schumacher hadn't made a good movie in 17 years, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right.
Wait, did you not like? You didn't like Tigerland?
I like Tigerland. I like Tigerland and
fair.
Phone Booth. I'm kidding,
Yeah,
but I mean, I like Phone Booth and Tigerland. His
Yeah.
Colin Farrell run was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first hour of 8mm is very good, but the second hour is not.
All 27 hours of Phantom of the Opera are a movie.
With singing.
That is true.
Yeah.
Singing, like, why am
Singing.
I a better singer than him? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
By the way, Being Human, 1994. I'm not
that's
gonna
a
say
read.
it's good,
Okay.
but I really liked it. I saw it in a sneak preview when I was a kid, and I was like the only person in the universe that actually liked it. But jokes aside, I mean, What Dreams May Come is fucking awesome. Good Will Hunting is terrific.
No one's going to complain
he's
about the
very-
dramas. The drama,
Yeah.
the dramas do
exactly.
the drama. Like,
In terms of comedies, it was just a matter
Well,
of like
you know why?
he's funny in 9 months, whether you think the movie is particularly good or not.
Because
Well,
Mork and Mindy,
Yeah.
and he was a stand-up. That's why we all find
Yeah.
it funny. But
funny. Robin Williams is never like the problem, unless it's Jack.
No, not at all.
That would be a war crime. But I mean, but not like, and we're talking like others don't like some of these more. I know there's plenty of people that love Mrs.
Yeah.
Doubtfire and love Hook and love Jumanji.
Yeah.
I don't. But when you're wrong, when it comes to like something like 9 months or like when he's a supporting guy that pops into something, he's fire. You're like, oh my god, just inject me with Robin for 5 minutes, and it's the best thing you'll ever get. Like it's great for sure, but. And even this movie kind of functions like you'd hope this movie would function like that since he's the main character, but it is an ensemble. It's not about him all the way through. And so like, I was watching this, I was at least hoping like, well, maybe the little Robin scenes will at least lighten me up. And it's like, no, they don't. They're just bad. Like he's just not killing it here.
he's not doing anything great either. He's just
He's
hanging
funny on
around,
Awakenings.
chatting. Yeah.
Jimmy Cliff made me happy, not because he's
Yeah.
particularly great in this movie, but I just like Jimmy Cliff. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Jimmy Cliff's around.
Right. So.
You know, it's a club movie, like an island club movie I like.
What?
Broken Lizard's Club Dread. I
Yeah,
like that
Club
movie.
Dread. Yeah.
That's a
Fair.
fun. That's one where I think got unfairly maligned, where I'm like, because it wasn't Super Troopers, and I'm like, this is a solid like slasher film.
Bill
not
Paxton's
quite
fun in that movie.
Bill Paxton's amazing in that
Yeah.
movie. It's what is his name, like Coconut Pete or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, he's so funny.
He's a third-rate Jimmy Buffett. Yeah. He's so good. So Scott, let's see how these new films dominated
Not
at the
well.
box office. Oh no! Oh wait, Aaron has to tell us
One half of a Godzilla.
Oh.
I thought you were just gonna be like, oh, Yoshi's out of Godzilla's. None for you.
Wait. You're giving this one fewer Godzillas than Miracle? I'm impressed.
Miracle. The difference of this is the potential's here. Miracle's like,
Yeah.
That's
all
fair.
right, it just sucked. This one's like, this sucked this badly.
All these people, and you couldn't get anything out of anybody.
Like Rick Moranis can like turn around, make a smirk at me, and make me smile, and that didn't happen in this movie.
Yeah. No, I'm not protesting. I was just curious.
Stop fighting me,
Oh,
Scott.
there's a scene that perfectly encapsulates what I thought, was like just missing the point. There's a scene where Rick Moranis toward the end and Eugene Levy are in a plane smuggling their marijuana out, and the guy's like, "What? We need to dump weight," and they drop it, and there's a whole barbecue camp like cookout going on with people, and there's a grill in the middle of the screen that's the same size as the marijuana bag it's about to drop, and you think it's on fire, so it'll drop in there, everybody get high around. No, it misses it, and everybody's just like, "What's that?" And then we never go back to it.
Comedy.
Why didn't it drop in the fire? Everybody go, huh? Cut away, come back to it, and everybody at high. Easy joke. Maybe we don't laugh, but like, that's this movie in one scene. That's Scott. Talk about the box office because I'm done with Paradise.
Karate Kid Part 2 was #1 again.
Kicking the ass.
It is.
Yeah.
$6.7 million, rising 7% from last weekend. Rising 6% from last weekend. This is its fourth weekend. It's done $51.5 million domestically thus far. Ruthless People, rising 7%.
Ruthless People.
Something's rising. What the hell's going on here? $5.4 million in 1,114 theaters. It would earn 22.5 after 17 days. Back to School also going up, plus 3.7%, $5.3 million for a $51.9 million 31-day total. Top Gun, 9th weekend, earning $4.7 million, plus 2%, adding 29 screens to 1,415 theaters for an $88.43 million total at the end of its 9th weekend. Finally, in 5th place, we have a newbie, Club Paradise, $4.1 million in 1,172 theaters. This modern comedy classic would leg out to approximately $12.3 million on a $19 million budget. Alas. Running Scared would drop just 2.4% in its third weekend for a $4 million weekend in 1,319 theaters for a $19 million 17-day total. 7th place, Legal Eagles, dropping 10%, losing 25 screens in weekend 4, $3.9 million for a $32.4 million 24-day total. For what it's worth, it's quote-unquote matched its $30 million budget. Obviously, that means it's halfway there. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, losing 128 theaters for a 1,202 theater total in weekend 5, still went up 6.2%, $3.5 million, $39.1 million 31-day total. About Last Night expands to 680 theaters, goes up 11% in its second weekend for a $3.5 million gross and a $10.1 million 10-day total. Number 10, The Great Mouse Detective, adding 60 theaters in weekend 2 for a 1,198 theater weekend, earning $3.44 million for a $10.8 million 10-day total. There's a little, I don't see any of the other, 13th place, Under the Cherry Moon. Oh, that's right, it went last week.
Why?
Let me see, what did it open to? Last weekend, Under the Cherry Moon opened with $3.15 million in 976 screens. This weekend, it would earn $1.55 million, dropping 51%. This is in 1986. That's not good. In 937 theaters, it would earn $7.9 million in 10 days and $10 million domestic total.
That's why we didn't get a third Prince movie.
More or less, yes.
Little Red
Although
Corvette.
we did get one that was like a
car chase film.
Most beautiful girl in the world.
Under the something bridge. It was a Loose Purple Rain sequel. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, I should have been. Anyway, but no, this is the end of Prince as a quote unquote movie star. Alas. Other than that, I don't see The Howling anywhere.
Yeah. Howling and Miracles I couldn't find.
Yeah.
I will say this. I'm starting to notice why, in terms of Karate Kid Part 2, Back to School, and Top Gun, like, they have been the beneficiary of a combination of no competition, bad movies, high-profile bombs.
Yep.
And that's why they're carrying over. Like, I don't know if a movie that's coming next week opened earlier, I don't know if Top Gun is doing what Top Gun does. It's interesting, but like, I feel like these movies are the beneficiaries of what has been a lame couple of weeks in a row. And
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And yes, I like some of these films more than others. I mean,
yeah,
I think we were all like running scared, relatively speaking.
Right. Yeah. I love Labyrinth, but it bombed.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah. And
so,
it
wasn't going to take people away from Top Gun, but I mean, it could have been the parents drop off and we go see Top Gun and you go see Labyrinth, but that didn't work out that way.
It's funny because,
by the way, the Prince film I was...
Yeah, Graffiti Bridge is the name of the movie.
Yes. 1990 did a whopping $7 million, or cost $7 million, made $5 million.
It's funny because, like, the movies we're talking about, they all feel like definitive 80s movies. So it's not like, and some of that could be like in retrospect as far as what defines that decade when you look back at it. But like Top Gun doesn't necessarily seem any more special than something like a Labyrinth in terms of the kinds of things that's in it that define the decade. But I could, fucking fighter jets and Tom Cruise. Yeah, I get it. Like, I mean, it makes a hit soundtrack, which matters, I think, a lot more back in those days.
Right. Yeah. No, like there's
MTV style editing.
There's two soundtracks everybody had in the 80s. It was Top Gun and Dirty Dancing at around this time in the 80s.
And Bruckheimer is like, he's already been building himself as a good producer. Now he's getting into like mega producer territory. So like, he's selling the film. Like, and I assume they're doing like the worldwide tour kind of thing, so it's probably in the news a lot also every time like Top Gun's out. It's around the people in it around. There's probably commercials and various talk show things or whatnot where people keep talking about Top Gun, or even other celebrities being like, hey, I saw that Top Gun the other day. Like, it's probably just in the zeitgeist.
Logan's Danger Zone doesn't start to chart till July in that summer, and same with Berlin. Take My Breath Away comes later. So those are, they're not I mean, they don't hit the top 10 till then, and then like, we're just now getting to where that happens, and then in August Berlin I think comes in. But like, Top Gun is like not sitting at like just number one dominating. It is picking up. You guys aren't going to see this?
It's the default watch, like Scott would say. Like, it makes a lot. Same with like Karate Kid after a while. It's just like
Top Gun's the rank doesn't matter. That's the epitome of it. But like, it's just interesting. Back to School is obviously everyone's favorite comedy. Ruthless People showing it. Like, Ruthless People, I feel like is doing better than Ferris Bueller. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Did you have Danny DeVito's like a beloved guy, especially so it's like
Bette Midler too. Him and Bette Midler,
Bette Midler, yes, for sure.
That's
so
huge.
like that 80s Bette Midler, especially, that's like that's catnip. And where if you get like a Labyrinth, where it's like, sure, David Bowie's a thing and there's Muppets, but it's like, that's a swing, right? And it just didn't connect. That's really what it amounts to. Like, maybe it could have been.
Also, I would argue, simplistically speaking, this was an era where you had adults that actually saw adult movies in theaters on date night. So when you get The Babysitter, you're going to go to the R-rated goofball comedy with the people you like, with the somewhat taboo premise that everybody says is freaking hilarious.
Well, and are we getting to a point here in the as we're crossing the halfway point and getting to the late 80s where maybe audiences are tired of or starting to reject fantasy? Because we had before, we have Labyrinth bomb here, and then prior to that, Legend, and it's like, our audiences, quality of each and personal thoughts on the movies aside, are they starting to get tired of, because like Willow will be like a high profile bomb in a couple of years,
but Princess Bride will do great. I mean,
but I feel like that one's hitting a weird niche that's like, yes, it is fantasy, but it's also date night movie. Like, it's
I can agree, but I mean,
it counts in fantasy, Aaron. That 100%.
No. It's just that's not what I was going to say. It's more how you're marketing that thing. It's like you can't channel the kind of the wry humor that Princess Bride has. So it's like it's a curiosity as to why that one stuck out more than like it's a what is it, a diamond in the rough kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just like I think they were just getting tired of everybody chasing to find the next Star Wars, maybe, and none
that
of
for
them,
sure.
none of them were sticking. And
it doesn't help that they're mostly bad. That's the other like the word of mouth
and,
is bad on them also.
Yeah.
Legend.
But Dragon Slayer was good. That's my
yeah.
Yes.
Legend is like too brooding and weird for, relatively speaking, too brooding and weird for kids. But adults aren't going to show up for basically, oh, this Dungeons and Dragons fantasy with that kid from Risky Business. Okay, no, that's not what grown-ups saw back then.
It's the dark fact, because Dragon Slayer is a fairly dark film as well. It's like that's why I'm always curious why Willow was such a bomb, because it feels like you have Val Kilmer and like Pete Kilmer, you have Ron Howard, who's a notable name for a director in a Lucasfilm production, and you're not getting any more Star Wars. Is like, how is that the one that like didn't hit? I don't know.
To be fair, it's one of those ones that it was perceived as a disappointment, and it absolutely was. But Rate of Return, it was actually pretty profitable.
Yeah, I mean, they have a fucking TV series. I mean, like, it certainly
better than the movie.
It has like
Nintendo
20
game.
It's like
it's better than the movie.
It certainly like is held up or whatnot, but it
you're right,
because it feels like a weird outlier as far as having all of the ingredients that people would presumably flock to, and then they just didn't.
Yeah,
I think it's just, and again, I've always felt that Willow was fine.
Yeah,
even when I was a kid, when I saw it when I was 8 years old.
Yeah,
and I think rewatching it, it feels too much like, okay, what if we did Star Wars, but specifically in like Lord of the Rings land, but the characters are so generic in terms of, okay, this is the Luke Skywalker, this is the Han Solo, this is the Princess Leia, this is the Darth Vader, that it becomes so specifically chasing those types that it's not particularly unique or specific on its own accord.
Right. We could be talking also around a weird bigotry towards little people as opposed to just casting adult,
maybe
regular sized performers as hobbits. There could be some like perception.
His
I'm not kidding.
His name's Kevin Pollak, by the way.
He's a brownie. That's different. I'm not kidding though. I do wonder if
lives in Queens.
I do wonder if that was perhaps a factor where it's like, I don't want to see a movie of Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't want
it's entirely possible.
It's also possible that people got so burned out on seeing weird shit like Excalibur or walking into so many fucking Corman cheapies because the poster was badass that they're like, I ain't gonna get tricked again. Maybe that was burning them out too. Or
that's why it's because it feels. If you look at the number of fantasy movies, it feels like the front of the first half of the '80s that's packed with more of them. Where it feels like it's mainly like one a year later on in the '80s. So it's not like there's a ton of them coming out.
There's a lot of Star Wars exploitation going on from right after '77 that's in the '80s, and that leaks into fantasy. And then Conan comes out and is notable, but Scott, as I saw, it was just run-of-the-mill fantasy box office numbers.
Forgot about that because there's the Conans and the Red Sonja. I forgot about those.
The Sword and the Sorcerer, was that the Pune one? That one did just as good as Conan. Got no sequel, and then Beastmaster almost did as good as Conan too. So like,
there are a lot of these that you're naming.
But Conan was like held up on this pedestal where it's like these two were right there with it and don't get that. But I mean, it was a launching point for Arnold.
What's breaking out? Because I don't think it's sci-fi either necessarily. Like there's sci-fi hits, but like,
I think
Indiana Jones,
by virtue of being unique unto itself. What's the next Star Wars? Okay, well, you have again. It's Firefox meets an Officer and a Gentleman, and Officer and Gentleman was incredibly popular.
Yes, it was huge.
So
it's kind of comedies, right? Comedies are kind of the thing there because it's Ghostbusters, Beverly Hills Cop, it's Three Men and a Baby,
star-powered stuff like you got the action star guy, you've got Schwarzenegger, Stallone. You will have Bruce Willis. You have comedy of Bill Murray's in something or Aykroyd's in something. You got the Second City Saturday Night Live people breaking out and becoming film stars, as well as they're trying to like we just see here the SCTV people getting mixed in, and it's starting to become like okay, what pairing of these people in this, or are they doing this? And they kind of run the 80s. So there is that. It's a different kind of star power thing.
Yeah. Okay.
That's maybe the person as the franchise.
Action tentpoles can break out, but they have to be exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna, one of them we talked about back in May, the other one we're gonna talk about next week. That that's why this one rose above the pack, because it's fucking awesome.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's hits for sure. Even like the various Star Trek films are like in the top 10, I'd assume, throughout the 80s. But when you look at the top like 3 movies, it's a lot of comedies, right? Like that's kind of where it is.
And as I said,
big takeaway from the
genre stuff is only 84. 84 is the only thing that looks like a stereotypical what you think of the 80s movies with most of the top 10. The other years are like dramas, comedies, Beverly Hills Cop type stuff, that type of thing. So,
Kramer, terms of endearment.
Yeah.
And I think, that was my big takeaway from when we did the summer of 82, which is one of the problems that Hollywood is dealing with right now is they sort of like convinced themselves that the genre flops of the early 80s were actually popular hits because pop culture nostalgia, blah, 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 keeps the ecosystem. So it's like, people want another The Thing or another Blade Runner or another Running Man or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's like, no. The stuff that people actually showed up to were, Ruthless People and Back to School and Officer and a Gentleman and, old school movies.
Well, good, because today they announced
on Golden Pond.
They announced a True Beverly Hills remake of Cameron Diaz, so you'll get your full.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fuck.
That's what she came out of retirement for.
I assume they'll call it Bad Trooper.
Oof.
Okay. God. Take it out.
All right, I'll take it out. So thank you guys for joining me again for this 10th week. I only have 6 more of the summer of 86 at 40. Till next time, Aaron, where can people keep up with you?
Everything I do can be found on my personal Substack page, cozy.substack.com. I write for League of Entertainment. Movie reviews can be found over there. I am the co-host of Out Now with Aaron and Abe. My friend Abe and I discuss new movies on a weekly basis with other film critics and film fans all over. And, of course, I am the co-host of the award-winning Two Black Guys Talk Godzilla, where my friend and fellow film critic Terrence Johnson and I discuss the Godzilla films in chronological order. And I am on all the socials at Aaron's PS4.
All right, Scott.
I can be found at The Outside Scoop, which I run and maintain over on Substack. I'm a semi-regular contributor to Puck News. I do a weekly podcast called the Box Office Podcast with myself and a handful of younger, cooler, and or more culturally relevant box office pundits or film scholars, where we discuss what happened the previous weekend at a theater near you. I'm on all the socials at some variation of Scott Mendelson. And shit, you're right. She's trying to do a remake or a sequel to Troop Beverly Hills. Why?
Okay, Yoshi?
You can find Yoshi and Super Mario World, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart Wii, probably a cameo in Dr. Mario 2. Remember Dr. Mario? And then other various Nintendo properties.
I told you he taught me medicine, and now I'm getting sued for 8 counts of malpractice.
He also wrote many episodes of Atlanta, seasons 1 through 4.
All right.
Good
and
for Yoshi.
I'm on the socials at Brandon4KUHD. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can watch us fine gentlemen discuss these movies. And you can see my 4K Blu-ray and DVD reviews. I'll be coming soon at Days of the Dead Indie. As of recording this, I don't know exactly what's going on, so check my socials for what's happening. Or maybe it's not, and I'm just spouting nonsense. But and then mid-August, I'll be at Long Island Who Convention in Long Island, New York, August 14th through 16th. Very cool stuff. But next week on the show, as a vampire Grace Jones grabs Isabelle Huppert, Walter Matthau says, "Get away from her, you bitch." All that and more as the summer of 86 at 40 continues.
Summer of 86.